everybody, I am SimSweetie and welcome to this tutorial. So sorry if my voice sounds weird. I woke up a little while ago, but I haven't done really any talking today. So yes. But anyway, today I will be showing you guys how I make my thumbnails and stuff like that. That's pretty much what I'm showing you. And I'll be making the Showtime thumbnail right now. So I already have this picture loaded into Photoshop CS5, which is what I use to edit my thumbnails. Whoops, what did I do? Whoops. Whoops. Oh, whatever, doesn't matter. I can fix this later. But I'm just going to go ahead and click on the Photoshop Actions thing, and I have the Eversims Holy Colors Batman Photoshop Action installed. And if you want to download this, I will put a link in the description, but I'm just going to use part 1, and it'll automatically make the picture all nice, bright, and pretty. And whatever I did, oh, here. Do I really have to do it one by one? Be that way, then. Be that way. Okay. And then there are also other little, like, actions you can do along with part 1. So the one I was testing this out, and I think the one I like the most is the blue one, because it just kind of tones down some of the colors, and I like the way that looks. So yes, I do like that. And sometimes I will go into I need that to be merged. Control E merges down. Okay, not good at tutorials. What am I doing? Very not good at tutorials. Sometimes I like to go into filter, sharpen, and then that'll just make it a lot sharper, and then filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and keep that really low down to like 2 pixels or 3, or not 2, but like 0.2 pixels, or try 0.3, because I don't want it to be blurry, but just kind of to soften out the edges, and sometimes that makes it look a little bit nicer, but I'm just going to leave it without that for this picture, but it does look nice on other pictures. So we have our first sim here. So I took these pictures in-game with a green background, so then you can go ahead, select the color range, and just select whatever you think is good, and then select the inverse to just select the sim, and refine the edge, and I like to go around the hair to get rid of little bits of the green. Go ahead, turn on Smart Radius. I know this tutorial is going kind of fast, but this is just kind of how I edit. And then I like to turn that up to get rid of some of the green, and I'll shift the edge back a little bit to again get rid of a little bit of green. And you can add smoothing and feathering and stuff like that, but I don't really like to add that very much. And then hit Control X to cut, and go onto your picture and just paste this. I'm going to just move him over there. Okay, so I took 2 pictures of this sim so I could choose which one I wanted, and I think I'm just going to go with this one. Okay, so again, select color range, go ahead, select that, and then select the inverse, refine edge, go around the hair, right around here. And Photoshop CS5, it does cost money, but I really like it. And I know GIMP is a pretty good alternative to Photoshop. I've never used it, but maybe try that out if you're looking for a free program to make thumbnails with. And I actually don't think I got right here in between her legs. So we're going to do that. And that's good enough. We can always fix that a little bit more once we get into more editing. And then we have one last picture to select. Right about here. Then go into her, oops. Select inverse, refine edge. Her hair is actually pretty good. It doesn't need much touching up. Smart Radius, shift, whoa, not that much shift edge. Okay. That looks pretty good. So we're just going to place her onto there. Now you get to the point where you kind of want to decide how they're going to stand. Since this sim, Hudson, is dating May, we're going to have them stand close to each other. You know, you can scale them up a little bit using Control T to transform. Just like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll take May over here. And then I like to put like this to make sure that they're around the same size. Okay. Just about like that. And then Mila, again, just kind of go like this. Make sure they look okay. Then you can just kind of edit a little bit more. And I think that looks pretty good. Normally I make sure that the knees are all around the same place. May actually looks a little too tall. So she can be scaled up a bit. And brought down to right here. So difficult. Scale up. Okay. And Mila, she can be put like right here. And then you can decide what order you want the layers to be in. Kind of like that, I think, maybe. I don't know. Just kind of playing around with this. How should this go? I like that. Kind of, not really. Okay, so I just went ahead and moved them around a little bit off camera, got them right to where I want them to be. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead, go to one layer, hit Control, go to this tool, and hit Select Inverse, and then go ahead, hit Delete, and that'll get rid of any of the green that was left over because that's not so cute. And then you're going to do that again. And one more time. And then that should get rid of all the green that got selected earlier, so then you can just deselect this. And now you're going to want to double click on the Sims. We'll just do one at a time, or I don't know, maybe you can do all of them at a time. I haven't really tried that. So now I like to do drop shadow sometimes, and these are my settings for drop shadow if you want to give them that little shadow behind them. But what I like to do more for thumbnails is outer glow. So again, these are my thumbnails. This is my settings that I use, and I just like the way that looks a little bit more than drop shadow. Sometimes I do them both, but I think that outer glow looks pretty good, so I'm just going to do that for all of them. And you just double click on the picture to get this option. Whoops, wrong thing. Outer glow. Okay, so that is how that looks. And now we're going to go ahead and insert our logo. So we're going to go File, and our picture is right here. You can just go ahead and save any whatever, you know, expansion pack or logo that you want. Just go ahead, find that under the images, save it, and then you'll have it. So then I just resize that. I'll put it right here. See how that looks. And I actually kind of like how that looks. I think that looks pretty nice, and I might want to move these guys over a little bit. And then you'll see the green is still kind of there, so I'm just going to go ahead, take an eraser, just a normal one, and I'm going to erase that. You'll have to go on each layer and erase a little bit, but that's not that bad. So we're just going to go into here and erase, and go into here and erase, and that gets rid of the green. If you don't want to do the clearing, because then I think you'll get rid of the outer glow, it just gets kind of messed up, so just erase if you want to do any little touch-ups. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this logo a little bit more. Again, Control T to transform if you do want to move it. And that is what that looks like, and I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. And this is what I do a lot of the times. You can also go in here and add your drop shadow, which it doesn't make that much of a difference on the logos. Or do an outer glow, which I actually kind of like with this logo. I don't really know if I'm going to keep that though. I think I might keep that. I kind of like that. And you can get rid of the opacity a little bit, which I think is what I'm going to do. And then you can go ahead and see how it looks like with and without, and you could edit that a little bit more, which I think I am. Yeah, this is the first time I'm making this thumbnail, so it's kind of experimental for me. I do similar things each time, but I kind of like to experiment a lot. Every single time, do things a little bit differently. We're going to bring this down more to center it. And another thing that you could do that I do want to kind of try out, because I've seen some simmers do this and I want to see. Go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and then I've seen sometimes blur the background, which I think looks awesome, and I really want to see how that works out for me. I think that looks really cool. So you could do something like this too. Or just leave it normal, which is what I've been doing, but I think that this looks really awesome. You can blur it a lot. Wow, not that much. Don't blur it that much. Just a little bit. Like, I like around there. 4 pixels or more, maybe like 5. Well, 5 starts to get a little bit too blurry. I'd recommend keeping it around 1 to 5 or 4. 5 gets a little too blurry. 1 to 4 pixels. But maybe 2 looks a little bit better. I don't even know. Like I said, this is just me experimenting. I think I'm going to keep it at like 3.5. 4 is just a little too much for me, but you guys might like it, so I think that looks pretty nice. So then you can see how that looks. Whoops, I bumped my desk a lot. Okay, so that's basically my tutorial on how I make my thumbnails, and I like the way this thumbnail turned out quite a bit, so I will talk to you guys later. Make sure to subscribe, and yeah, bye!